right, so let's get started. We'll start standing. So standing comfortably a little wider than sits bones distance apart. And let's bring the hands behind the head. Let's let the elbows fall forward and let your upper body kind of hang forward a little bit. Take a breath there. And then push down through the floor, lift up, and start to open your elbows up and out to the side. So from this standing position, hi Angelique, we're gonna do more standing stuff just so you know. And let your upper body round forward. You're trying to not like shift backwards off your axis. So it should feel like you're almost gonna somersault forward because you're rounding forward. Push the floor away, grow up into the spine, elbows open, extend your upper back, feeling your elbows go wide. And then you come back up vertical. Then side bend to one side, feeling long from lat through the side of the waist, and then press the floor away to come back up. As you keep coming up, try to push your head back so that you're not letting your head flex forward. Side bend, and then come back up, and then bend your knees, flex your spine and your knees, push the floor away. Bend your knees as you open your elbows and straighten, push through the floor. And bend the knees as you side bend. Push the floor away, come through the vertical to the other side. Bend the knees. Push the floor away. One more time. Let's exhale to flex forward. Trying to not drop the whole upper body, but round your back. Push the floor away through the legs. Bend the knees as you arch your back. Push the floor away, lift up tall, and side bend to one side. Push the floor away, and side bend to the other side. Push the floor away. I want you to start by rotating your upper body to one side, and then flex your spine. Once you're here, let your elbows drop forward a little bit. Shift your weight a little bit in the other direction and you should get a little more QL, quadratus lumborum stretch. Push the floor away, come up through the center, switch to the other side, rotate, flex over your thigh, shift your hips a little off center, and then press the floor away and stand tall. You can let your arms go, just lift your shoulders up towards your ears, and then let your shoulders drop back down. Good, so from here, we're gonna go into a lunge position, bending the back knee and have your back heel down on the floor so that you're keeping a range that you can keep your feet parallel and the back heel down. And so starting here, all I want you to do is push through your toes to lift your heel off the floor and then push your heel back down, straighten the leg and bend and press. So as you continue, you're trying to not be slightly hiked on this side, that you're really sitting into that front glute. So you're using the front glute. As you're pushing through the foot, you're trying to open up the back of the calf and the ankle, flexing and pressing back. If you can keep the heel down, you can make your lunge bigger. Pushing through the toes and press your heel all the way down and pushing through the toes and press the heel down. Good. Feel your muscles of your hips holding you up. Press down one more time. And then press down. And now it feels weird at first, but I just want you to keep the heel down and do a little bend. So you're going down, up, down, up, down, up, and then straighten. And go down, to little pulse. I'm pretty tight in the front of my ankles, so this is as far as I can go with my heel down. And then I lift back up to straight leg. Couple more. Little pulse down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Straighten that back leg. Last time, little pulse down, up. 2, 3, 4, 5, and straighten the leg. Turn your feet to the other side. Hopefully it's around the same range of motion. And you're in your lunge. Bend your knee to push the floor away. and then flex and press your heel back down, pushing through the foot. So you're not transferring your weight around forward and back, and you're not just like popping your foot up. You're trying to really create some ground force. So you push through that foot to roll through all the tissue of your foot. There's a lot of bones in your foot, like 27, something like that. So as you're moving through your foot, you're trying to keep all of those joints, kind of get them moving, since we're sitting a lot and also not maybe moving up and down hills or stairs as much as we usually are. We want to get all of that movement happening in the feet. One more time, moving through the foot, pushing that back heel down, then pulsing down, 2, 3, heel is down, 4 and 5, and then straighten the leg. And again, pulsing down, 2, back leg is parallel, back foot is parallel. And it's not a big range of motion for anyone, but this is an important kind of movement through the Achilles and the lower calf muscle, the soleus. Lifting up, one more time, down, 2, 3, 4, 5, and come back up. Turn around to the first side. This time, step a little bit wider apart, so both heels are still down, but the front leg is straight. And now I want you to push from, actually I'm gonna go a little bigger, push from the back foot like you were in the last exercise, but use that to push you forward into a lunge with the front leg bent. And then the back heel pushes down from that front leg pressing. So you're pulling yourself forward, pressing yourself back. If you want it to be a little harder, take the arms overhead, pushing to a front bent knee, pushing to a back leg straight. Pushing to a front bent leg, arms come to the side, arms go overhead. Arms go to the side, overhead, and as you do a couple more, try to keep that sense of pressing through the back foot, not just sinking into it. Hold once you get forward, stay here. See if you can bend the back knee to lower your knee a little bit further towards the floor. And then straighten the back leg. It's okay if your back heel stays up, that's fine. And you go down a little from that front glute and you push back. If it's too much on your knees to go down, just stay and hold. And bend your front hip, front leg lowers you a little. And you go down and you press up a little. Front leg stays bent, back leg straightens. Back leg bends, back leg straightens. Last one. Back leg bends, back leg straightens, step to the other leg. And then you're gonna step back into your lunge. So that's the beginning of this. So you're just stepping forward to straighten both legs and stepping back to that lunge. Then start to see if you can touch the foot that you're bringing forward, barely using it. Have it float as long as possible to go back. I'm layering these exercises so that you can stop with whichever version is most appropriate for you on any given day. Those of you who want more of a challenge, lift your leg on your arms and touch back. And push the floor away, lift and touch back. Good. And push the floor away, lift and touch back. Press the floor away, 4 and 3. Each time you straighten that front leg, as you stand on it, connect to that glute, lift yourself up tall. One more time, stay in your balance, either with the toe touching the floor or with the leg lifted, feel your glutes working. Just swing your leg a little back and a little up, little back and a little up. If your foot's on the floor, just hold. You're gonna swing your arms if your foot's on the floor. If your leg is lifted, little swing of the leg. Is that hard to balance? Yeah, totally. So you're trying to keep your alignment while you're just moving your leg around. Last 3. Good. 2, it could be arms. And last 1. Everyone either toe touching or leg lifted, hold. Now everyone's gonna swing the arms. If you already swung the arms, then see if you can make them a little bit bigger. Finding your balance on the standing leg, feeling really stable, pushing the floor away. 3, 2, and last one. Step that foot down, turn around to the other side. Stepping back into that big kind of almost triangle lunge warrior situation. And you're gonna push from the back foot to push forward into that front lunge and then push back into that back heel. So you push forward and press back. Do that a couple times. Pushing forward and back to the front leg straight. Front leg bends, front leg straightens. Front leg bends and straighten, that's right. And front leg bends and straighten. Good. Find your balance. Try to straighten that front leg completely. Stay there. If your feet are too much like right in front of each other, Sarah, maybe that's happening a little. It's impossible to balance. So maybe offset your feet a little wider apart. I could be wrong, but that might help a little bit. And if it's also too hard to balance on the mat, then go off onto the hardwood floor. Okay, so then you bend that back knee. You hold that back knee bent, and you try to go down a little from the front hip, and you try to come up. You try to go down a little, and you come up. Arms come overhead. Coming up and down a little. You can be creative with your arms, just creating a little bit of more tensioning through the upper body by adding a little bit of movement of the arms. And down, and up, and down, and last one, hold. Press yourself back up to that back leg being straight. You're gonna step forward, arms come overhead, you touch the floor. Arms go to the side as you touch back into that lunge. Arms come overhead, touch forward, and touch to that lunge. Then if you wanna lift the leg, feel free to do that. Lift and reach back. And lift up. And reach back. And lift, push the floor away, connect. And reach back. And lift up. And use the arms to help you stabilize. So you're pushing down into the arms. Then you're pushing up into the arms. Then pushing down. Pressing yourself up. Last one, you're gonna come up and stay. Find your balance, either foot on the floor and swing your arms, or leg lifted and just move your leg. Finding the stability. 3, 2, and 1. Either with the foot on the floor or the leg lifted, now swing arms. Trying to not slouch into it. So finding your balance, pushing the floor away. It's hard even if your toe is touching the ground. Staying stable. Letting the arms swing a little. Last 2. And last 1. And then stepping your foot back down. Good. Okay, bring your feet wide to a little wider than the width of your hips. And when you're doing a squat, I want there to be a reflection between the shin angle and the torso angle. So you're not here and then coming down really low. That doesn't work. You've got to have the torso in the same angle. So just do a couple plain squats so I can watch for a second. Yeah. As you come up, there's this kind of temptation for the hips to go forward like a matador. Don't do that. Use the glutes at the top to lift you up taller to vertical versus them thrusting you forward. Down and pressing up. Good. So then as you do a few more, down and up, feel that connection to the back of the hips. You're gonna come down and stay at an angle it doesn't hurt anything. Hold, don't let your torso drop. Lift one heel, put that heel down. Lift the other heel. Don't transfer your weight or shift. Your body isn't moving, you're just moving your heel. Yeah, and lift one foot. And so, like, where can you see me? Yeah, so just the heel is lifting. You're trying to not let it shift your body side to side. And lift, lower, and push the floor away. So you're not just popping the heel up, you're pressing the floor away. And press the floor away. One more, press the floor away. Push up from your glute, stand all the way up. Go down again and hold. And lift one heel and switch. So you're moving more reciprocally. So one and then the other. Pound down, 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 down. Robbie, you can get down there lower. I know it. Yes. And as much as you can, get rid of the cute hips side to side, and then press yourself back up. Good. From there, we're going to go down and stay anywhere your arms help you. Lift the heels a little, lower the heels. Lift both heels a little, lower both heels a little. Let the body rise, let the body go down a little. Push the body up from your legs, push down into the floor. Push the floor away, and 3, lowering down, 2, and last one, lift the heels, lower the heels, straighten the legs, and stand up. Awesome. So from here, we're gonna go into some lunges. So I'm just gonna face sideways, you face whatever way you want. So step forward into a lunge, and then step back. Sorry, I want your back knee to bend, so like that. Back knee bends, you straighten everything. Back knee bends, lunge, press up. And then start to go slower as you step forward and quicker as you come back up. Slow forward, quick press up. Slow forward, press up. And of course, go in a range that feels like you can control it and that it's okay for your hips, your knees, but challenge yourself a little bit. Hopefully you're getting a little warm. Feel that push, almost like you're jumping away from the floor. Push away from the floor. Push away from the floor. Arms can do anything that's helpful. Four more. One more on each side. And last one. And then pause, standing there, really stand through your legs, down into the floor, up through the spine. Reach one foot forward. Circle your ankle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You stay facing the same way, but take your foot to the side. Try not to sink into it. Circling your ankle. 5, 4, and if it's too hard to balance, stand on something more solid. Reverse. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then your leg goes behind you. Sorry, stay vertical. I got excited. Circling. You can bend your knee if you need to help you keep your body vertical. Reverse. 5, shorten ribs to hips. 4, 3, 2, and 1. We switch legs. Foot goes forward. Hips are level. Circling the foot and the ankle. 5, 4, 3, pushing the floor away. 2, and 1. Trying to not just kind of collapse into your comfortable posture, but lift yourself up out of gravity. Yeah, feel really long on that side of the waist. And leg goes to the side, circling, staying as vertical as possible. Reverse. 5. We're moving the ankle because it's good to move our ankles, but also to challenge our stability, our mobility, our balance, our control. Leg goes behind you. You can bend your knee to be able to keep the pelvis vertical. Circling, trying to not let everything bow forward. Again, shortening that rib to hip connection. And then we're going to switch back to the first leg. You're going to bend your standing leg and be at a little bit of an incline. Your leg that is off the floor, it can be whatever height you can manage. I'm gonna keep my leg pretty low and focus more on my stability. Circling the leg around, 5, 4, 3, use your arms any way that helps you, 2, 1, reverse, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Leg goes out to the side. You tip your body. Try to bring your body as close towards horizontal as you can. Much harder on the mat, so if it's too hard, adjust. 5, 4, 3, 2, reverse, and 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. That same foot goes back. Your body comes out towards horizontal, and 5, 4, 3. You can have a little bend in the knee. Reverse if you haven't already. 3, 2, and 1. We switch legs. Bend the standing leg. The body goes back as the leg goes forward. Circling 5, 4, 3, and reverse. Feeling your pelvis stable. You're using your abs, not your lower back. And then the leg goes to the side. And circling 2, 3, good, 4, 5, reverse, 5, finding your stability, and bending the standing leg, and horizontal as possible, kind of airplane position. Balance is trained just like strength, and so as you do this sort of thing more, it will become easier to balance. And then standing all the way back up, shake your feet out. Okay, so from here, we're gonna go into a kind of star position where you're gonna be using your arms to help you tip to the side. So take your arms overhead. And as you tip onto one leg, you're gonna push down into the arms to tip to the side, reach the arms back overhead, then we'll go the other way. So push down into the arms to tip, trying to keep your standing leg vertical, and then come back up. Yeah, good. And tip, you can go as far as you can manage. Yeah, and press back up. And tipping over to the side, find that tilt. Woo. And coming back up. We're gonna tip over and stay, hold. See if you can stay in whatever star shape you created. Use those arms, push through the arms, and see if you can do a little lift lower of the leg. Lift lower, lift lower. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back up to vertical. One more time, tip over to the side, arm goes out, leg lifts and lower. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then you come back up to standing. We go back into our squats, so bending the knees, letting the arms go forward, and pressing yourself back up. We're doing another set of those squats that we did before, where we're gonna change our ankles to make it more challenging for our quads and our glutes and our hamstrings. You're gonna stay down on this next one, hold, lift one heel, set it down, hips stay level, lift the other heel, set it down and lift, set it down and lift, and push the floor away. One more on each side, push the floor away, and push the floor away, and stand back up. Then we go down and we stay reciprocal. 8, 7, 6, heels are alternating. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We come back up, and we do a set where we lift both heels. You go down, you hold. Both heels push the floor away. The body comes up a little. The body comes up as the heels lift. And 3, wherever the arms are best for you. 4, Overhead's the hardest. 5, we have 8, 6, 7, last one, 8. Heels go down, legs straighten up. We go down one last time. Hold, lift the heels, and then little pulse from the legs going down and up, 2, 3, your heels are a little inch off the floor, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and then stand all the way back out. Good. All right, from here, we're gonna do a little bit of a lunge series again. So you're gonna stand, you're gonna step 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, have that back heel down on the floor. Find an angle where your body can be the same angle as your leg. And all your 10 toes are pointed forward. Okay, so now you're gonna try not to change the front leg. You're gonna bring your back leg forward and just touch the floor and then slide it back out behind you. So it might change a little bit, but you're trying to not change it very much. And the back leg comes in, back leg reaches out. Back leg comes forward, back leg back, and forward, and heel down, and forward, and heel down, and 3, 2, these are hard, and last one, and then turn around to the other side, parallel through the legs, back heel is down, arms can work however they're most helpful to you, arm comes forward as leg comes forward, leg goes back, try to get that back heel down, stretch through the calf and the lower leg. Your foot can drag on the floor if that helps you to stay low. Two more. And last one. And then step back into that lunge. Stay there, don't straighten your front leg. Bend your front leg to put your hands down on the floor. Creep your back foot in enough that you can straighten, have both heels down, and try to straighten that front leg a little and then let it bend a little. Try to shift your weight back to straighten your front leg and bend your knees a little. And shift your weight back to straighten both legs. Bend your knees a little, one more time, both legs straighten. And then you're gonna lunge the back leg out, find this big, long lunge to the floor. You're gonna try to open the front of your hip here. So you're gonna let your hips go down a little, and then from your abs, you lift back up. So you're not just sinking into it, you're using your muscles. So you go down a little into the lunge, scoop the abs, lift. Down a little, scoop the abs, lift. Down a little, scoop the abs, one more time, down a little. And then you're gonna set that knee down, keep that knee down, bring yourself up onto that front leg. Whichever arm is the same as the back leg, reach that arm overhead. Feel like you're pulling up through the front of the leg and through your pelvis, then side bend a little bit away from the, towards the front leg. And then come back up, set your hands down, step those toes under, bring yourself back to that straight legged, heel down position. Step the back foot forward, drop the pelvis to roll back up through your spine, and turn around to face the other direction. Or don't face, we're gonna do the other side, is what I'm trying to say. Here we go. The other leg is gonna step out into a big lunge. Your hands will find the floor. Trying to open the back hip. So you open a little and then you connect your abs and lift up a little. Open your hip, not sinking. It's a really different feeling that you're muscularly activating to open versus passively sinking into gravity. Opening the hip, lifting up a little. Last one, open the hip and lift up a little. Set the back knee down, climb up onto that front leg. Find your balance there. Feel like you're lifting really tall, whichever is the same as the back leg. Lift that arm overhead, get even longer and taller, and then side bend towards the front leg a little bit. And then setting your hands down on the floor to the outside of your foot. Step that back foot in until you can get both heels down. Find your heels down, your legs as straight as you can. Step the back foot in. Feel the back of the pelvis draw down, and you try to roll up through your spine. Good. So then we do want the mat. So with some mat space in front of you, find the back of the mat, and you're going to nod your chin and you're going to roll down to your spine, one vertebrae at a time. Once your hands get near the floor, you can of course bend your knees as necessary. Once you get down near the floor, you're going to walk your hands out. 1, 2 big steps so that you're kind of in like a downward dog position. And then from there, I want you to find neutral, drop your knees towards the floor, and then push back up to that downward dog-like position. And your knees go down like leg pull front prep, and your knees go up like downward dog. And you lengthen through the spine, connect through the shoulders, and press yourself back up. And knees bend, you lower, and you press yourself back up. 2 more, lengthen through the spine, get longer. And last one, this time you're gonna set your knees all the way down and pause. Once you're there, feeling your spine really elongated, you're going to let your whole spine sink a little between the shoulder blades, then push the floor away. Sinking between the shoulder blades, push the floor away. 2 more, sinking between the shoulder blades, push the floor away. And last one, now keep that connection between the shoulders. Hold there, keep everything really connected. Reach one leg out behind you. Feel your weight, want to transfer onto one arm more than the other. Try to keep your hips level and your shoulders square. Try not to shift too far forward or back. Lift your leg up, little bit of a lift. Stay there. Once you're there, bend your knee, pulling your heel towards your tail, and then press your leg back out. What you're trying to do is not flex at the hip as you bend the knee. So try to leave your thigh right where it is. So you're lengthening through the front of the hips and reach back out. Flex the foot, pull the heel towards the tail and press back out. And flex and pull towards your tail. Press out. You should feel some hip work happening. You should feel like your abdominals are working to help stabilize you. Not letting the elbows bend on one side. Hold the knee in that bent position, flex the foot, and little pulses up from underneath the glute. Little pulse up and up. Not so much that my back changes. You're only going as far as you truly have hip flexor length and abdominal strength to stabilize. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and bring that leg down. Just sit back towards your heels for a second. Take a stretch. Take a breath. And then we come back out onto the hands and knees. And find neutral. Extend one leg out behind. Try not to shift forward as you do that. And lift your leg up. Once you figure out how high you can lift your leg, push the floor away again through the shoulder blades and through the elbows. And bend your leg and press. Hamstring curl, hamstring lengthens. And pull and press. Keep pulling up on the low abdominals so you're trying to not let the center of your body sink. Your hips are as level as possible. 4, 3, try to create some internal resistance. 2, and last one, hold the knee bent position, little pulse up from right into the glute. Pulsing up, pulsing up. Pull up on the low abs, and pulse, and pulse, and pulse. And 8, 7, 6, use your outer hips. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring both knees underneath you. Sit back into your little stretch. You can shift your hips off to one side and take the hands to the other side to open across the back and the lats, the side of the body. Take your hands to the other side, shifting off center. And then you're going to come to sitting facing the side. We've been working on this tricep press, remembering that this body weight conditioning stuff means you have to use your body weight to challenge your muscles. And so there's ways that our bodies are going to want to get out of it. So in this exercise, if I let my ribs sink like this, it becomes super easy. Not very good for my shoulder, but also easy. So feel like your body's in one straight long line. And then you're just going to lower your elbow towards the floor and press yourself back up. And you play around with exactly how far your hand needs to be away from you. You want your forearm to be on a slight diagonal. It's not straight to the side or straight forward. It's like about 45. And your hand is relatively lined up with your knees. So you're pushing the floor away. So if I do this without thinking, this wants to happen. So my waist sinks to move my arm. I want you to think of like the ribs are being lifted and lowered from your strong tricep press and lower. Good. And as you do a couple more, feel the bottom arm really working to push the floor away and push the floor away. One more time. Push the floor away. Stay there once you get there. You're going to extend at your hips. So you're going to push your hips forward. And then you're going to try to sit back towards your heels to sit back down. If you don't figure out this forward and backness of this exercise, it'll feel too hard. So you go forward, you sit back. Then you add the elbow. So you press up to straight arm, sit and lower to bent arm. It's hard to do. We all want to do like arm, then body, then butt, then elbow. You're trying to make it happen together. Try adding your top arm and your top leg. So they're going to go out like that as you come up. It might actually make it easier. You can take the arm forward to come up and then let it come back down. And think of forward to come up and back and down. Yeah. And forward to come up and back and down. And last 2. And down. Last one, you're going to stay, hold, take the top foot, flex the foot, 2 kicks, forward, forward, sweep back. If you feel your neck, support your neck with your hand, forward, forward, sweep back. Last 2, forward, back, and forward, and back. Set your knees down, and we switch to the other side. It should feel hard for the upper body, but it shouldn't feel like damaging kind of hard. That there's the stability there, and you're using the stability to create this press. So that same feeling of like you're lifting your ribs away from the floor, bending and pressing. Yeah. And just as you do a couple, sorry, it's hard to see when I'm in black, so I'm just lifting my arm so you can see it more, but try not to sink right there to go down or to come up. That you keep that sense of the waist the same length on both sides. Down and press up. Again, if it's hurting or feeling like it's creating tension in your neck, you can try your hand over your head and supporting your head with your hand, or the tongue could push against the inside of the back of the teeth of the upper mouth, and it might help align things better in a way that is less tension. Then press your arm to straight and stay there, push your hips forward and up, and then try to reverse out of that. So elbow bends and your hip goes down. Hips go forward and up, hips go back, elbow goes down. And hips forward and up. That looks great, nicely. And 3 more, press forward and up, and hips go down, elbow bends, and forward and up. And one last time. And once you get up there, stay. And 2 kicks forward, forward, sweep back. And forward, doesn't have to be very big. And forward, last 2. And last 1. And setting it back down, sit all the way back down. And we're gonna come to sitting on your butt. Your fingers can be pointed out to the side if they need to be. It feels easier to do if your fingers are forward, but I know that's a kind of extreme position. So you decide. And what I want you to do is push down like a turtle growing out of the shell, and then press your hips up, trying to open across the front of the hips. And then hinge at the hips and lower back down. And you'll stay looking forward. Don't let your head fall back. Open your hips. Flex at your hips to go down. And open your hips to press up. And flex at the hips to go down. Good. If you want, you can keep doing this exact version, or you can stay up here and try to lift one leg, set it down 4 times. Otherwise, you're just going down and pressing up. Nice. Down. Yeah. Good. And Lee, if you can stay up there for a couple, but think of your upper back being in like slight thoracic flexion, so you stay looking forward. It'll make it more possible to stay up there, I think. Yeah, nice. When you're even on both sides, if you want, you could add the leg circling. It's a lot of work to stabilize the pelvis. 4 circles one way, 4 the other way. Then you'd set it back down. Otherwise, pick one of the previous versions. Pressing up, either lifting or circling. Try to do 4 in each direction. And then when you're even, you can relax. Maybe stretch forward. That might feel nice just to relax a little bit. Elbows always, because of all of our computer work, they don't get a lot of opportunities to straighten all the way. So if you're feeling a lot in the elbows, hopefully it's not pain, but it's like a lengthening through the elbows. So we're gonna turn over onto our hands and knees, and we're gonna bring our forearms down, and you're gonna step one leg back into half of a plank. And once you're there, just find your spine really long and keep the glutes connected. And just shift your weight back into that calf. Push, pull a little bit towards the heel, towards the head, towards the heel, towards the head. So this is the first option. The second option would be to bring the other foot back in line with it, so you're in a full plank, and then you try that shifting. So both feet are forward, you find your plank, you shift forward and back. Otherwise, just shifting back and forward, finding some movement through the shoulders and through the ankle. And then sitting back towards your heels, stretch your arms forward, take a couple breaths, however it feels good to you. Pushing through your hands, just kind of opening through your lower back. And then you can bring your feet underneath you, walk back towards your feet. Once you get your weight back over your feet, start to roll yourself back up to standing. Good. From here, we're going to bend the knees in your squat position. We're going to bring the left hand to the inside of the left leg, the right hand to the forehead or the back of the head, either one. And you're in this position, you're going to rotate your upper body and then square yourself back off. Think of that bottom arm reaching down your leg further. 2 and 3 and 4. Then reach your right arm across towards the left knee. Bend your elbow, rotate, reach across. Rotate, reach across, rotate. You're trying to keep that bottom knee from moving. Then extend the elbow, sweep down. Extend the elbow, sweep down. Extend the elbow. One more time. Don't let your knees fall. Don't let your chest collapse. Then straight arm opens and closes. Let your leg, your pelvis rotate a little on this one. You'll feel you want to push the floor away a little. That's fine. And then come back to the center, come back up, and we do the other side. So trying to not let your back hunch at all so you stay long through the spine. And right hand to the inside of the right knee, left hand to the forehead. First one starts really small. There isn't a lot of room to move. You're rotating, the pelvis stays still. 2, 3, and 4. Then reach the arm across. Elbow pulls back, arm reaches forward. Elbow pulls back. 2, and 3, and 4. Then you're going to extend your elbow. Don't let your knee fall in. Extend, sweep it across. 2, sweep it across. 3, one more. 4, straight arm. Let the pelvis rotate a little. And 2, and 3, and 4, and pressing the floor away, come back up to standing. Awesome. So it should feel like you get a little bit of connection going in the upper back. All right, so from here, we're gonna do a little bit of a balance. It feels a little bit like you're trying to throw a ball. So if you imagine you had a ball in your hands and you were trying to throw it forward so that your upper body rounded a little. And then you lift up and you throw. And you lift up and try not to spike the ball down at the floor, but try to throw it straight in front of your sternum. Inhale, lift. Exhale, throw. Inhale, lift. Exhale, throw. One more. And then we're going to add a leg. I'm getting close so that you really hear me. Don't hit yourself in the face with your knee. It gets closer than you think. So starting with throwing, you're going to bend your standing leg and let your knee come towards your shoulder as you're throwing. And then you stand back up and throw. And you stand through both legs and you throw. And lift up tall, throw, lift up tall, lift up tall, and 4 more. Should feel like your abs are flexing your spine. And you're stepping kind of in the same spot. You're not going too much side to side. 1 or 2 more to finish it even. And last one. And then standing back up tall. Good. Okay, so we'll keep adding to some of these that are starting kind of with the basic foundation of these movements. So now we're going to step into a side lunge. So your foot is not going to be completely parallel, but it's not totally turned out either. It's just maybe a teensy bit turned out, very small amount. And then you're going to step back in. And you're going to step out to that lunge and then step back in. And then you're going to start to make that more of a hovering foot so that as you come in, there's longer amounts of time that you're not touching the floor with both feet. Yeah, good. And then we're going to lunge out there, stay, bring your hands to the forehead, rotate your upper body towards the straight leg as you lunge out, and then just come to the front to come back in. Rotate towards the straight leg and come back in. Rotate towards the straight leg. Then you're going to add the leg lifting in the middle. And you step out, rotate to the straight leg, lift. And rotate to the straight leg, lift. If you can, add rotation towards the bent leg. And you rotate to the straight leg to lunge out. You stand up and you rotate towards the leg that's in the air. And you lunge on your own timing, of course. Balance is part of this, so it's hard to be perfectly timed with one another. Pull up and in, get taller, 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 taller. 4 more. Rotate and lift. As you go out, try not to end up here with your hip height. Try to find where your hips are level. And then you keep that level pelvis as you lift the leg. You're just rotating from the upper body. Good. And 2 more. And rotate to the straight leg. Find your balance, rotate to the bent leg. And rotate to the straight leg. Find your balance and rotate to the bent leg. And we do the other side. Just starting with finding that lunge, stepping out, little bit of toeing out, but not a lot. And lunging out, and then a little bit quicker on the way in. So slow, quicker to come in. And slow, quicker to come in. The body is really relatively vertical. Good. And then hands to the forehead. You're going to rotate towards the bent leg, the straight leg, sorry, and then step back in and turn to the front. And rotate towards the straight leg, and then back to the front. And continue. Find that push through the leg, connecting into the glute and into your vertical. Nice. Adding the leg lifting in the center if you can find your balance. And then you lunge out, rotating towards the bent leg in the air. And out. And towards the bent leg in the air. And rotate. And lift. Rotate. And lift. Three more. On your own timing, finding that rotation from the upper body, giving yourself the time you need to figure out your balance so you're not just falling from one position to the other. Last time. And then setting your feet down, set your arms down. All right, so then you're going to come down into a squat again with the torso mimicking the angle of the legs. And then I want you to reach your arms out to the side and try to lower your chest a little bit further so you're closer to horizontal. And then I want you to step out to a lunge to one side. Legs come in together, they're both bent, and then to the other side. Lunge and lunge and. If it's too hard, hands on the hips or on the knees. Stay low, like you're underneath a balance beam. If you want it to be harder, take your arms overhead. And then see if you can go a little faster. You determine the speed for your body today. Try not to come up in the middle. Try to stay low. And low. And 4, 3, 2, and last one. Lowering the arms. Just lift your shoulders up towards your ears. And let your shoulders slide back down. And do that twice more. Nice big lift of the shoulders. And exhale, softening back down. Last time, big lift of the shoulders up. And then nod your chin. Just roll through your spine forward. Let your hands touch your legs or the floor. And just shake your head like you're saying yes. Taking some nice full breaths. Shaking your head like you're saying no. Feeling the connection down through the back of the leg and through the front of the pelvis to roll yourself all the way back up to standing. Once you're standing, bend your knees, feeling length through the spine, and straighten your knees. And one more time, Bend your knees. Feel that sense of pushing the floor away so that you grow up out of the floor, nice and tall. And good. And then we're all done.